It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Katafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Katafamo. I'd like to thank you for joining me. On today's show, we're talking retirement, and my guest today is Highlands Fire Captain Brian Katrales. Captain Katrales, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much. How are you doing, Philip?
I'm doing good, ringing in 2021 as everyone else. Hopefully you're doing good as well. Happy New Year to you and to everybody watching and listening. Hopefully this year will be a lot better than last year.
We'll see.
Well, Captain Katrales is retiring at the end of this month, the end of January. You started your career, you graduated from NAU with a degree in hotel and restaurant administration, but what got you started as a fireman?
Well, I had always had an interest in the fire service growing up. A quick story, because I could certainly spend a lot more time on it, was my dad, I remember one of my first memories, as far as the fire service is concerned, grew up in Phoenix, and we had a nice backyard. My dad bought me a toy fire engine that you could hook a garden hose up to, and it would actually squirt water. And He used to make me little houses out of popsicle sticks and newspaper and light them on fire, and he would help me put the fires out with a little toy fire truck. So that was probably the first start, and then I just always had a desire to serve the community and so forth. And when we moved to Kachina Village after my wife and I married and started our family, we just wanted to get back to the community somehow. And I do say we, because being a firefighter is a family job for sure. Yeah.
What has kept you in the fire business for so long?
Well, let's see. I'll have a total of 26 years, just over 26 years, and it's just that just really enjoy serving the community, and of course, being a firefighter and an EMT is a very challenging job, and there's a big variety to it as well. And we also have the opportunity to do different jobs within the fire service. For example, I'm the public information officer. That's also another challenge, and a pretty fun job for that matter.
Well, we appreciate it, and we've obviously had a lot of contact. I kind of handle the fires regarding in the news department, so I've spoken with Captain Katrales several times. You did start your career. You were telling me off air that you were a volunteer fireman to start your career, and then you went full time. So, what's the difference between a volunteer fireman and the full timers?
Sure. I graduated in 1992 from NAU, and then in 1994 I answered the call. There was a banner at the front of the neighborhood that I live in, and it said volunteers needed, and contacted the fire district and decided that that's something I'd definitely like to do. So the big difference between volunteer firefighting and career firefighting is because volunteering, I kind of looked at it, and my friends and I that were volunteers at the time, as a hobby, and it just something that when it was before cell phones back in that time, so we didn't really have a lot of information and news right at our fingertips. So we carried around little radio pagers with us, and if we ever got a call to service or anything like that, it was a mad dash to get to the fire station, no matter what time of the night or day it was, to get on the one fire truck that we were assigned. Us volunteer firefighters were assigned, and it could only hold 4 people, so we'd have 6 or 7 guys speed to the station and get off, get out of our cars, try to get dressed as quick as possible, jump on the engine, and then go to the scene. There were some calls that we were allowed to go directly to the scene, like medical calls. We were allowed to, as volunteers, to respond directly to the actual address, and so that was fun as well. So it was just not that the fun ever went away, from transitioning from a career volunteer to a career firefighter, but we also had other jobs, as volunteers. One of my really good friends worked at an auto shop. Another one was a tow truck driver, and I stayed home with our newborn son for a good 6 months to a year of that, and my wife worked. So As far as transitioning in 1997 when I was hired full time, that was I had already started to work on my career path to become an engineer, and that's the person who drives and operates the truck.
Okay.
And I was hired as an engineer in '97, and I worked for a captain that was also a full-time career firefighter, and we rotated us engineers. There were three of us on the roster, and us engineers, we rotated every 3 months to a different captain. So there was a lot of variety with that and so forth, and of course we could still respond off duty as well. So.
You sort of mentioned the changes that you experienced early on in your career, specifically, the advancement in technology, as you mentioned, kind of going from the pager to the cell phone, and then going from no social media to probably too much social media, in my opinion. But yes. What other changes have you seen? Any more significant changes that you've seen throughout your career? Well,
there is a popular saying in the fire service that, it's 200 years of tradition unimpeded by progress. That's not exactly true. One of the biggest things that's coming to mind is CAFS, and CAFS is an acronym for compressed air foam systems. I remember when we first started out, we would use foam, and the reason we use foam in firefighting is because it actually breaks down the surface tension of water, so that the water can, when it's being applied to something that's on fire, the water can actually penetrate that fuel and get it cooled from the inside out. The advent of using compressed air foam, it's basically like spraying shaving cream on a fire, and that shaving cream will act as a really good blanket. It also does a lot of cooling, and it also makes your water last a lot longer, because just applying straight water on something versus applying that same volume of water with foam in it makes the water with the foam last a whole lot longer. So those are the kind of advancements and so forth. I remember going to a fire in California and having a truck that had CAFS written on it. It had the big acronym on it, and it was a brand new truck. And we were going to a wildland fire, and I remember being asked by several fellow firefighters once we were in the state, asking, "Oh, what is CAFS? What's that do?" and so forth. We've heard about it. You guys already have an engine that has CAFS on it, so that kind of thing is. It was good to be on that cutting edge. So.
You talk about that foam being very similar to shaving cream, but do want to make it very clear, don't spray shaving cream on a fire, please, because it's not going to put it out, unlike the foam that Captain Katrales just talked about.
That is correct.
Yeah, very much so. Please don't do that. So, you've seen, obviously, any changes that you implemented when you stepped in, any sort of, maybe you mentioned being the PIO, maybe is there any kind of like departmental changes that you were a part of that were more direct to Highlands Fire?
Sure. Not necessarily just me. I won't take all the credit, but I was a fire instructor. And one of the things that when I first started off, we didn't go to a community college or a college to get a degree in the fire service or get trained by college professors to become firefighters. So we did that training in-house. The training program that I first started off in '94 was about 8 months long. 2 or 3 nights a week, we'd all gather, and then on weekends we'd all gather for mock drills and so forth. But we'd do classroom stuff at the fire station in Kachina Village. And after I became a certified firefighter with through the state of Arizona, I decided to become an instructor. So I turned around and was offering the same instruction to new people who were interested in the fire service, and that eventually transitioned to a program being developed at Coconino Community College. I never was a college instructor, but a lot of my coworkers were instructors at the college as well. So.
We're going to take a quick break. We will be back with more, speaking with Highlands Fire Captain Brian Katrales on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. Countywide, we'll be right back.
Who doesn't dream of home improvements? Perhaps your kitchen, the real living room. Maybe the bathroom, where you bookend your day. Langstrand Contracting is your one-stop shop from tear down to finishing touches. With 35 years of experience, Chris and his team will work with you to match your family's style and budget. Call Langstrand Contracting today for guidance in bringing your vision to life.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
Hi, this is Greg at Verde Solar Power. You know, Arizona has lots of clean, renewable sunshine, and we want to help you take advantage of it with our quality solar installations, and we offer to beat any written offer on a residential solar electric system. So bring us your electric bill and let us show you how solar power will save you money. We're located conveniently here in the Verde Valley and are dedicated to helping the valley go solar. So remember, the energy solution comes up every morning.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle, get Gettles.
Welcome back to Countywide. On today's show, we are talking retirement with Highlands Fire Captain Brian Katrales. I am Philip Catafamo. In the first segment, we talked a little bit about how Captain Katrales got his start. For those of you who are just joining us, he started at NAU, graduated NAU with a major in hotel and restaurant administration. Then, when that career didn't pan out, he transitioned to Highlands Fire, which did go by a different name at that time, but did transition as a volunteer fireman at Highlands Fire, earned Volunteer Firefighter of the Year in 1996. He is retiring at the end of this month. Want to go more into the fire prevention sort of questions here, Captain Katrales. So going into a context of fire prevention, what is the most common thing you see people do that you wish they wouldn't?
Well, it's just the misuse of fire. In Kachina Village, for example, which is a small little community outside of a larger city, we ask that people, when they do burn yard debris or have a campfire and so forth, that they contact the fire department. And we do provide our phone numbers. It shouldn't be any challenge at all getting a hold of us. They can certainly leave a message, and just to let us know that they're having a fire, because a lot of people in these tight knit small communities, if they smell smoke, see fire, and thing like that, a big panic happens, and rightfully so. The urban interface, which is a neighborhood that is built really close to a forest, for example, can easily burn down and just be really a catastrophic disaster.
Yeah. So
I would just ask that people just try and follow the rules as much as possible. Call us when you're going to have a fire. Make sure that it's permitted. In Kachina Village on Highlands Fire District, for example, we don't charge for any of those permits. We're agents of the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, and we're responsible for smoke management in the area, and we have a permit process that can take care of that. Moving down to Glendale, and now that I'm in the retirement path, fireworks is a big one, and we see that in Flagstaff a lot as well. There's almost every night here in Glendale, it's either gunshots, hopefully it's not, but fireworks, especially around the New Year and so forth. Fireworks just really, not to diss the whole industry, but they really don't have a place in neighborhoods and in the forest.
Yes, very dangerous. And as you mentioned, serving this Flagstaff area, you do kind of run into more woodlands as you would compared to something like Glendale, where it's a little bit more deserty and there's a lot less surface area when it comes to trees. And, but outside of that, what other challenges have you experienced serving that Flagstaff area and that very wooded area?
Oh, the weather, for sure. And the vast, just the open space. Trying to find somebody who's lost in the area, like a hiker or something like that who's gotten injured, climbing Mount Eldon, for example, not having you can certainly climb Mount Eldon, which is a popular area, Humphreys Peak. You can certainly climb those areas and go on those kind of hikes and so forth if you plan ahead. take water, make sure that you're in good physical shape, and make sure that somebody or somebody knows what your itinerary is going to be and what time to expect you back, things like that. But trying to find somebody out in the middle of nowhere, thank goodness today's cell phone technology does have GPS tracking on it. I mean, that's made our life so much easier, because everybody's smartphone, you can just grab it and put the GPS coordinates that are provided from our dispatchers into your smartphone, and it'll take you directly to where the cell phone ping blasts. So that's a nice thing. And as I did mention, the weather is a big challenge. The human body obviously can't put up with temperature extremes very well, and unfortunately, if somebody's lost out in the woods, they're gonna, in the middle of the winter, they're gonna suffer some traumatic experiences. We also have an area in our area of Oak Creek Overlook. That's a popular climbing area, and we also have another area. It's the Pit, which is off of Lake Mary Road, and those are popular climbing areas. We're not trained as rope rescue technicians, but we certainly can serve in the area in the facet of responding and being able to access the victim as soon as possible. But I've been on several rope rescues where climbers have fallen, and that kind of thing. It can be very traumatic. Several fatalities, unfortunately, and a lot of long-term injuries as a result. So.
I always usually wince when I have to hear about or when I read over the radio a story regarding somebody who has fallen from a traumatic height, or somebody who unfortunately perished because of that. I have a very big fear of heights. That's why I usually get a little sketched out by it. But yes, very much so. Take the proper precautions if you're going to go hiking anywhere, regardless if it's here in the Yavapai County or Coconino County area, or even if it's down in Maricopa County or even Pima or Pinal. Definitely be very, very careful when you're out hiking. But you talk a lot about the weather, and yes, it is extremely different weather up there in Flagstaff. You get more of the seasons as opposed to where I get in Southern California, which is either hot or very cold, and that's about it. You do see a lot of snow, a lot of rain. Obviously, here in Arizona, we get the monsoons. But last year, not too much moisture to the area. We saw a little bit of moisture come through at the tail end of 2020 and kind of scattered very lightly throughout the entire year. Considering now that we are in exceptional drought, is the district considering any closures in the future, any fire bans put in place, as a lot of our conditions are still very dry due to the lack of moisture?
For sure, and the district unfortunately doesn't have the authority to make those actual closures.
Well, the county, I guess the county would be.
The way that works is that it comes from the county board of supervisors. County board of supervisors, which should be the same in Yavapai County and other counties as well. They typically follow suit of what the local forest does, and again, the forest is federally managed. So, for example, in my area, Coconino National Forest, those forest managers, if they enact any restrictions or closures, that will go to the county board of supervisors, and we will, and all the areas in the county will follow suit. We will certainly do our best to enforce that. Like no burn days. So we even have no burn days down here in Glendale right now, for example, and that's just for air quality. We'll do the same thing, in and around the wooded areas, because of like too high of temperatures, too low of humidity predicted for that day, and maybe also a wind event predicted for that day. So Highlands Fire District and all the other fire departments in the greater Flagstaff region certainly follow the suit, and we work really hard to make sure that's enforced, along with cooperation from the Forest Service and the county sheriff.
Okay. It's definitely a significant challenge. I know that, like I said, we've received a little bit of snow up in your neck of the woods, or former neck of the woods, I should say. Yeah. We do see such a, you mentioned the extreme weather almost, like the extreme colds, or when it's super rainy. It's, obviously Coconino County is a higher elevation, so it's almost on like a mountain slope, and everything comes down to here to us. And I wish you guys would bring some of the rain down here, because we could severely need it, because it seems like whenever Paul would give me the Paul David, our news director, would ever give me a weather report and it said rain, it was always like, it's only rain in the higher elevations. There's never rain down here in the Verde Valley. And I want to say, if somebody, when I first got here, they said, oh, it might snow here. And, somebody from California went to school down in the Phoenix area. I don't even know what snow looks like, to be completely honest. I hear that it's white. I'm not entirely sure if even that's true, but I can see where, you talk about sort of the difficulties of dealing with that weather, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more rain in 2021. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll keep talking about Captain Brian Katrales of Highland Fire, his career as a fire captain. We'll keep that discussion going on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. Countywide, we'll be right back.
Two things we can count on every year:
a new set of tax rules and great weather here in northern Arizona.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, locally owned and operated by Lewis Rice since 1997, is here for you all year long.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Office will help you in all of your taxing situations.
Electronic filing is always free with your tax preparation at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service.
Get more in return. Call 1-800-234-1040 for an office near you.
The EPA says C&B Construction ranks in the top 1% nationally. C&B Construction invites you to see what energy efficiency and indoor air quality can be. We have won another Department of Energy Innovation Award, and C&B Construction is the only contractor in the country to win 6 consecutive EPA Indoor Air Plus awards. Experience our zero-energy, move-in-ready homes at Crossroads at Mingus.
C&B Construction, locally respected, nationally recognized. Find out more at C&B Homes.com.
Been hearing about the crazy benefits of CBD? Find out how CBD can help you at Sedona's #1 resource, CBD Sedona. Come in for a free consultation and let our trained medical staff help you find the perfect product for you. Pain-relieving salves, full-spectrum oils, CBD skincare, bath bombs, and even CBD for your pets. Come on by CBD Sedona today.
Terrifying jobs, high-flying linemen, take 3.
Josh, this is an absolutely terrifying job. Why do you do it?
It's a very demanding job, but very rewarding and exciting.
How much energy are you actually working with up there?
500,000 volts of electricity.
It's definitely not my line of work. Does anything shock you?
Yeah, distracted drivers terrify me.
Welcome back to Countywide. On today's show, we are talking retirement with Highlands Fire Captain Brian Katrales, who will be retiring at the end of this month. I'm your host, Philip Katafamo. We have talked a lot about Captain Katrales. We've talked a lot about some fire prevention things, making sure that you're being very careful with fire, making sure that you take the proper precautions when you go hiking. Captain Katrales, you mentioned during our break, winter driving conditions, same thing, very important right now, regardless of the lack of moisture.
That is correct. You can certainly get ice accumulating on the road, and if we get a snow event, any kind of snow is you mix snow plus an interstate that has a posted 75 mile per hour speed limit, then it's gonna be a bad situation. We certainly recommend that you keep things nice and slow. Make sure that your car is maintained well, tires are in good working order. And, take it slow, plan ahead, make sure that you have survival gear just in case you do get stranded, especially overnight, some food and water, charge cell phone batteries, things like that. And of course, let people know where you are and when you are expected.
Which seems to be the very most important thing, which is letting people know where you're going and when you'll be back, because then you can get that phone call out if something, hopefully nothing does happen, but if it does, somebody knows where you are. Going back to your career here, we've got about 2 minutes left in the program here, Captain Katrales. What are you going to miss the most about your career, your current career choice?
Right, that's an easy one. Living down here in Glendale at this house, obviously there's much more fire activity, much more medical activity here, and every time a siren goes off, I'm still looking, out the window to see what's going on. I'm going to miss that. I don't feel badly about it. I know I did serve my time. I did make a difference in the community. I know, but it would still be great to be, just to be able to, jump on an engine and make somebody's bad day better. So,
do you have any advice for anyone who might be thinking of a career in fire?
Right. The main thing that might be a misconception is that if you want to be a fireman, you just fill out an application and hey, I'm ready to be a fireman. You need to do some self-prep. You need to make sure that you're state certified, and the best way to do that is to go through a community college program or a university program, get a fire science degree or at least an associate's in fire science. With that should come emergency medical technician, which is the basic medical training and certification, and that's through the state as well, especially in Arizona. I'm not too familiar with the rest of with our neighboring states. And also with that will come hazardous materials first responder, and also wildland firefighter first responder certification as well. So with that, with those things already under your belt, you'll be prepared. We simply can't. No fire department anymore can really hire somebody that's not certified yet. So. From the hotel business, now the fire captain over at Highlands Fire. Brian, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you very much for your service to the community. You've always been so nice and very available for us. I appreciate it, and best of luck in retirement. Happy 2021 to you and your entire family, and we wish you nothing but the best. Okay, thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor to serve. I appreciate it. That is today's episode of Countywide. I want to thank you for watching and listening. We will talk to you again next time.